Football is the most popular sport on the planet, watched and loved by billions. Over the decades, a rare handful of players have risen above the rest, bending the game to their will and producing moments of pure magic. Choosing the greatest of all time will always spark debate, and that's part of the beauty of it. Today, we're counting down 10 footballers whose talent, trophies, and legacy place them among the very best ever. Stay until the end for our number one, and let me know in the comments if you'd put them in a different order. Kicking off at number 10 is the man who made football look like pure joy, Ronaldinho. The Brazilian played with a smile on his face and tricks in his feet that left defenders and entire stadiums completely bewildered. At his peak, he was simply unplayable, dazzling fans with no-look passes, impossible flicks, and goals that seemed to defy physics. He won the World Cup with Brazil, lifted the Champions League with Barcelona, and collected the world's top individual award along the way. More than the trophies, Ronaldinho is remembered for reminding everyone that football, at its heart, is a game meant to be enjoyed. For a generation of fans, he was the very definition of magic. At number 9 is the elegant French maestro, Zinedine Zidane. Gliding across the pitch with impossible grace, Zidane controlled matches like a conductor leading an orchestra. His close control, vision, and composure under pressure were unmatched, and he saved his finest moments for the biggest stages. He led France to World Cup glory on home soil, scoring twice in the final, and later produced one of the most beautiful goals ever seen in a Champions League final. Strong, calm, and impossibly skillful, he made the difficult look effortless. After retiring, he went on to become a hugely successful manager, proving his football genius extended far beyond his playing days. Zidane remains the picture of pure class. Number 8 belongs to a true revolutionary, Johan Cruyff. The Dutch legend didn't just play football brilliantly, he changed how the entire game is understood. As the star of total football, he could appear anywhere on the pitch, drifting into space and pulling defenses apart with his intelligence and movement. He even gave his name to an iconic move, the Cruyff turn, still copied by players today. Beyond his playing career, his ideas formed the foundation of one of the most successful footballing philosophies in history, influencing generations of coaches and clubs. Few individuals have shaped a sport so deeply. As both a player and a thinker, Cruyff's fingerprints are all over modern football. At number 7 is the man they called the Kaiser, Franz Beckenbauer. The German great essentially reinvented the role of the defender, stepping out from the back to start attacks with the elegance of a midfielder. Calm, commanding, and brilliant on the ball, he brought a whole new dimension to defending. He captained his country to World Cup glory and lifted the European Cup multiple times with his club, dominating the game for over a decade. Remarkably, he later won the World Cup again as a manager, joining a very exclusive club of people to triumph both on the pitch and from the touchline. Beckenbauer was a leader, an innovator, and an absolute icon of the sport. Number 6 honors one of the original superstars, Alfredo Di Stefano. Long before television beamed the game into every home, this Argentine-born forward was tearing defenses apart and setting standards others could only dream of. He was a complete footballer, capable of defending, creating, and scoring with equal brilliance, seemingly everywhere on the pitch at once. He was the driving force behind a dynasty that dominated European football, winning the continent's biggest prize 5 times in a row. Older fans and historians of the game often place him among the greatest to ever live. Though he played in a different era, Di Stefano's all-round genius and relentless winning mentality have stood the test of time. At number 5 is the original Ronaldo, the Brazilian striker known as the phenomenon. Combining the power of a sprinter with the touch of a magician, he was, at his peak, perhaps the most frightening attacker the game has ever seen. He could beat an entire defense on his own, gliding past opponents before finishing with ice-cold precision. Despite suffering serious knee injuries that would have ended most careers, he returned to win the World Cup and finish as its top scorer, silencing every doubter. He claimed the world's best player award multiple times across different clubs and countries. When fully fit, Ronaldo was simply unstoppable, a force of nature in front of goal. Number 4 is a relentless machine of goals and records, Cristiano Ronaldo. Few athletes in any sport have combined natural talent, with such an extraordinary work ethic. Through sheer dedication, he transformed himself into a goal-scoring phenomenon who has shattered records across multiple leagues and countries. He has won the Champions League several times, lifted major trophies with his national team, and claimed the world's top individual award 5 times. Famous for his incredible leaping headers and thunderous strikes, he has stayed at the very top of the game for an astonishing length of time. Whether or not he's your favorite, Ronaldo's longevity, ambition, and goal tally place him firmly among the greatest ever. At number 3 is the flawed genius who carried a nation on his shoulders, Diego Maradona. Small, stocky, and impossibly gifted, the Argentine could change a match in a single moment of brilliance. At the 1986 World Cup, he produced perhaps the greatest individual goal in history, dribbling past half a team, while almost single-handedly leading his country to glory. He inspired an unfashionable club side to the heights of European football, becoming a god in the city that adored him. His life off the pitch was turbulent and dramatic, but his talent was never in doubt. For millions of fans, Maradona's blend of skill, passion, and pure magic made him utterly unforgettable. Just missing the top spot at number 2 is the man who became football's first global icon, Pelé. Bursting onto the scene as a teenager, the Brazilian announced himself to the world by winning the World Cup at just 17 years old. Over his career, he won that trophy 3 times, a record no other player has ever matched. Blessed with explosive pace, two-footed finishing, and astonishing skill, he scored goals at a rate that still seems unreal today, with his career tally numbering well over 1,000. He didn't just dominate the game, he helped spread its popularity across the entire planet. To many, Pelé will always be the king of football. And finally, at number 1, the player many consider the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi. For nearly 2 decades, he has produced football of a quality that often seems impossible, gliding through defenses with the ball glued to his feet. He has scored and created goals in numbers that defy belief, won countless league titles and Champions League trophies, and claimed the world's best player award a record number of times. For years, critics said he could never win the biggest prize for his country, until he finally lifted the World Cup, completing football's ultimate dream. Combining unmatched skill, vision, and consistency over an entire era, Messi has a very strong claim to being simply the best to ever play. And there's our countdown of the 10 greatest footballers of all time. Of course, lists like this will never settle the argument, and that's exactly why we love the game. Who did I get wrong, and who would top your list? Drop your own ranking in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more football content, and share it with a fellow fan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.